Welcome to the 85th show, and in this show I hope to convince you that the world is created out of black magic. Now, being the 85th show, I have to show you how it works. It works through words and numbers equal symbols, and how one can be associated to the other and another indirectly. So the word magic with a K, actually, if you take the numerical position of the letters inside of the word magic with a K, it will equal 44. And a 4 can be associated to a square, and 44 can be made into this symbol, which is the Islamic star, and that is a symbol of magic. So people under spells are usually under magic spells, and you can see it right here that the Islamic star is pretty much a magic symbol. Now, this is the symbol of witchcraft. So that would be the number 5, and you can find it inside of the tree of the Kabbalah if you connect the dots. But that being said, we are going to look at the number 85. 85, when you take 8 plus 5, it equals 13. And 13 is kind of important because the 12 apostles plus Jesus equals 13. And the fellow Mr. Magic here, Mr. that was making the miracles, was the 13 person inside of that gang. And that being said, he was making miracles, and it had to do with more of the word magic than anything else. He is associated to the number 13. There's a reason why you can't see the number 13 in elevators or in apartment buildings, because they think it's associated to bad luck as much as it's associated to appearing and disappearing. And that being said, we know that the word magic here and Jesus go together. When you look into the religion where they tell you to drink his blood through wine and eat his flesh, as well as burning candles all over the place, that's pretty much is associated to ritual magic. And God himself sacrificed his son, and he had to lose blood for everybody to be cleansed of sin, which again can be associated to magic if you look at it under that lens. But there's more to Jesus than just meets the eye. It has to do with the alphabet, where Jesus, the word Jesus Christ, if we look at the number of letters that create his name, can be associated to the star of witchcraft. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's the 5-pointed star that you associate with the number 5. And then you have the word Christ, which has 6 letters in its in the word itself, and that can be associated to the Star of David, which we know is also the symbol for magic without the K. So all that being said, indirectly, the word Jesus Christ, hidden in the word Jesus Christ, is these 2 symbols, and it also equals 11. 11 is very important because it has to do with the symbolism of duality. This is that, but that's not this. That's how you understand the witchcraft. And you can also find 11 at the bottom of the tree inside of the Kabbalah. And this is 11 is associated to the beginning of magic. So Jesus Christ, if I was the Father in heaven, I would have not used that name for everybody to pray to. But we know that the Father is the Aleph Bet. Phonetically, he is the alphabet. So the letter J here, okay, this came from Paleo-Hebrew, where Lamed, okay, Lamed was the creation of the word J, and it just happens to be the 12th letter of the alphabet, of the Hebrew alphabet, which is kind of important because our Father here, written in Hebrew, is the first letter of the Hebrew alphabet and the second letter of the Hebrew alphabet, indirectly meaning 12. So the Father is the Son and the Son is the Father, and you can make a little symbol with that, which would be the circle and the vesica Pisces, which has 2 angles, and a circle has 1 surface, therefore 12. And C here is kind of important because C is associated to the 3rd letter of the Hebrew alphabet, which is Gimel, and Gimel is associated to the camel. And why is it important and why it had to be associated to this name? Because the camel, it travels with what? It travels with water, and water is associated to spirit. So that's the spirit. Yeah, I know. It's kind of far-fetched, but if you want to understand how Jesus and witchcraft works, that's how it works. You also have to understand that this symbol here is a god, and it's used to urge on an animal. And that's not quite of a compliment if you think about it, that it was created, the symbol was created out of Paleo-Hebrew, which is basically, I consider it witchcraft, and it's the first name, it was the first symbol used in making the word Jesus. Not a good symbol to use unless you're wicked. So there you go, you're being poked so as to move along. So that being said, we can see that the symbol here of Jesus on the cross has to do with, again, with the ox and the cross, which is the last letter of the Hebrew alphabet, okay? And the ox here, which is associated to God, because that's God, it's the first letter of the alphabet. So that's why he is the first and the last. He's also the Alpha and the Omega, which is the first letter of the of the Greek alphabet and the last letter of the Greek alphabet. So he's basically saying he is the alphabet also. That is good. Now we understand. Now if you take the first letter and the first letter of his last name, you have this symbol. That's right, exactly. So that's the 12th letter, which is Lamed. You can see it here, 1 and 2, which would be your circle and your vesica Pisces, and Christ, which would be the Spirit, the Holy Spirit, whatever. And this would give you, all put together, this symbol. So in his initials, okay, J and C, you have this symbol hidden, and you can actually see it on the basilica in one of these churches, I think in Germany. And right here you have the perfect triangle, which has equilateral triangle, and an equilateral triangle, which is perfect, would have 60 degrees, 60 degrees, 60 degrees, and you don't count the 0 because it doesn't have a value. Therefore, you're left with 666, and witchcraft in simple gematria, witchcraft equals 666. So the 666 is also here inside this symbol here, where you have him with 3 nails, okay? And the nail in Hebrew, okay, is the 6th letter, and it's made to join. It's a nail, and it's also associated to man. But that being said, so inside this symbol you have the first letter of the alphabet and the last letter of the alphabet, the Hebrew alphabet, and they're joined together through witchcraft. And that's basically it. And you can see the symbol here of him, of the cross. Let's go back to our tree here, where on the inside the Kabbalah, this happens to be the door, and your door to heaven, you have to make it through Jesus Christ. And you can see the symbol here. That's all black magic, and that's why you were made to believe that if you pray to him, you will get to heaven. But it's just a hoax, because inside this tree, at the very top, you have the Aleph Bet, which is the Father. You have the ox and the ox and Bet, which is Aleph Bet, which means Father. So he is the way, all right, to heaven. And it's just, this is how this nonsense was created. He wears a crown. He's the King of Kings because his head would be over here, and this is the crown of the tree. Therefore, he wears a crown. So as the story goes, he was dead for 3 days, and 3 nights, and he resurrected. But 33, we know it means magic. So there you go. That's the breakdown of our friend. But you can see, I think, just to drive the point home, the word father here is the first letter of the alphabet and the second letter of the alphabet. It can also be represented by the sun and the moon, or you can represent it with the ox with horns, which would be the Aleph, first letter, and Beth, the second letter, the 2 horns here. And that's your alphabet. There you go. And you can also find the first letter and second letter of the alphabet through the lenses of witchcraft by counting the number of sides on a cross. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And we're back with the number 12, which is associated to father, or lamed, or poking you with a gourd. So there you go. So this symbol here, hidden inside here, is Jesus Christ. So that's how witchcraft works. You have to put on your, you got to do mental gymnastics, but you get around to it, and it's all there to see that witchcraft was made to create this world and everything that everybody believes. So there you go. Have a great night. Bye.